Hello guys. So I thought I would make a video about this movie Animal. Uh, it is apparently Ranbir's second biggest film after Sanju, which is kind of interesting because I couldn't even watch the trailer because it was a bit too violent. I am generally not a big fan of graphic violence. If it has like a valid storyline and a valid reason behind it, like it's okay. But like I that's what I'm saying. I couldn't even watch the trailer. I haven't seen the movie yet. I don't think I ever will because I heard it's like a 3 hour long movie and I'm saying all this based on the reviews I watched and the articles that I've read so far, right? Like, it doesn't seem to have any kind of story. The movie apparently is just violence for the sake of violence. That's what I keep reading everywhere. So I have not seen. I've seen like bits and pieces of Arjun Reddy, but when my friends were watching it, I just like happened to watch a couple of scenes. That's it. Like, but when I tried to watch it from the scratch, I couldn't watch it for more than 15-20 minutes because I felt like the dude was angry for no reason. You know what I mean? I generally don't like this, what do you call it? Entitled, privileged people being angry for no reason. You know what I mean, right? Like, there are so many underprivileged people who deal with a lot more bullshit than you do, and they are not angry. And what the fuck are you so angry about? So that's how I feel when I watch such movies. I can't stand such characters like who are just angry just because it's cool. You know what I mean? That's how I find Sandeep Reddy Vanga's movies. Although I think he has only done 2 movies. I'm waiting for this to come on Netflix. Although I have a feeling I wouldn't have the patience to watch the whole movie. Probably I'll do it in like 4 or 5 sitting. But I just wanted to talk about this because I find this phenomenon interesting that's happening in the Indian movie industry. It's like I've made another video like about like a year or two ago where I mentioned that there's some kind of new mm, in new extremity in an Indian cinema, like there was this new French extremity or something like that in France, like that was there in like the 2000s, where you had movies like La Haine and Irreversible and those kind of movies like Mamiere. So I think there's something of that sort happening in Indian cinema from what I observe right now, because there was this movie Rocky, Sani Kayadam, both by the same director and like Arun Madheshwaran in Tamil, and I watched this movie called Tar on Netflix, like Anil Kapoor's son, I think he acted, and Anil Kapoor production. That was like violent too. And now this movie Animal, they say it's like probably one of the most violent movies in the recent times. And I have a feeling like I kind of understand why it is happening right now, because Bollywood has been simping for like almost 3 decades, right? So young men, like especially, they need some kind of role model. They find they need something to, they need a role model basically. So they find that role model in their fathers or in their elders in their family. If they don't find one in their family, they look for that in the cinema. That's why we have such a hero worshipper kind of a culture in our country, isn't it? But Bollywood has been simping for like 3 decades. They have not been giving the young men any kind of masculinity for that matter. Forget toxic masculinity. Like not even toxic. Just any sense of masculinity has not been given to the North audience, to the Bollywood audience. It has only been men who are simps, and more and more feminist directors are coming in to portray that kind of roles, where they are like gender neutral thing. It's like a far left thing again, and these critics, they praise these movies. Some of them, even though they don't even run for a week or anything, they give the guys like Karan Johar and whatnot. Like I have a feeling they don't they're so um, caught up with the Sims, and that's the reason why like movies like Jawan, Pathan, and like those kind of movies are running, doing really well now. See, except for maybe Amir Khan's movies and Salman Khan's movies, every other movie there's nothing about masculinity that has been going on in Bollywood for like 3 decades. Before that, like I think the Amitabh Bachchans and whatnot, they had some kind of role in portraying like masculine characters on the screen, not necessarily toxic, but any some kind of masculinity. Masculinity in general is not toxic. So there is toxic masculinity, and like I hate the far left media for just branding masculinity as toxic, because they find everything about masculinity toxic, right? You can't argue with them. So this, I find it as like a direct result of that. Like you know what I mean? Because the reviews that I've been reading, they say like there's no story, there's just violence, 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 and it's like stylized. There's misogyny. That's what these Uber left reviewers read, right? And most of them are like self-proclaimed feminists, right? So what can you expect from them? And it's like it's inevitable that this happened, right? You can't you can't continue, and it took like a South director to see the out of the 3 movies that did really well this year, 2 are by the South directors. One is Jawan, and another one, this is Animal. I'm talking about the Bollywood movies, right? The other one is Pathan, which is like a North Indian director. So I don't think if this Arjun Reddy remake in Tamil, I think didn't do well, and I don't think if Animal, if they had released it in Tamil directly, I don't think it would have done well, because in Tamil Nadu we have we always had this angry young man, like healthy masculinity portrayed on the screen for very just reasons, because there's been movies that deal with casteism, where the protagonist's anger is justified. Like that kind of anger I can tolerate. That's what I mean when I say like I can't tolerate these privileged people being angry for no reason, like silly petty reasons, right? If there is a proper reason for the protagonist to be angry, and it has enough weight, that is convincing, right? That comes across as genuine. And there has always been movies like that in the Tamil industry. So if you come up with a movie like Animal, Kabir Singh or whatnot, people are gonna call that bullshit, right? What the fuck is he angry about, right? But I don't blame the North audience for liking this movie, because what else did you expect? Like, what else did you guys expect? Making movies about Sims for 30 years. What else did you expect? And these feminists and snowflakes are like really angry. They make articles about this and that. Mm. And I think I forgot the name of that news lady. There is the Faye. So I follow her on Facebook, right? Like, she did a video on Facebook about whether Animal is good or this and that. I mean, nobody's saying Animal, the characters like that. No, nobody's saying he's a good guy or anything. But what else did you expect? And there was this comment, I think, apparently on her video, someone had posted, like, what are you girls still doing in the kitchen? And then she had to reply to that, and like there was a lot of drama. But I mean, that guy must have made that comment just to provoke. You obviously know that, right? Like, do you seriously believe there's someone like that who makes a comment genuinely believing it? Of course, YouTube is full of trolls and full of people who try to provoke you. And she takes it so seriously, and she takes makes a video about it and all that. We are not going back to the kitchen. This and yeah, okay. So I mean, it's like blowing things out of proportion. As I said, I'm not a fan of that kind of violence. I'm not like say I'm not supporting this movie in any way. But what else did you expect? What the other I made a video about Gehraiya, right? The movie. That's the kind of movie that Bollywood is making. Bollywood has been making in the past 20, 30 years, right? Not 20, 30 years. I would say like past 10 years maybe. The 10 years it has become really bad. Before that also at least not 10 years. I think 15 years maybe. In the past 15, 20 years it has become really bad. Before that, at least there was some kind of hero character, some kind of protagonist who believes in something righteous and tries to do good and whatnot. The past 10, 15 years, it has been simping. No wonder the North audience are gravitating towards South movies and South directors these days. You know what I mean? Making movies about Sims and cucks. What the fuck? Anyway, I'll see you guys in another video. Bye bye.